Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to address this economist event this afternoon here in St. Julian's. The Mediterranean region offers opportunity for growth across many sectors. This is, however, dependent on competitiveness and quality of life. Cleaner and more reliable energy production at a lower cost are a prerequisite for investment and competitiveness. I will start outlining by how the new administration is addressing the country's energy production costs within a short timeline. I will also then share my thoughts on opportunities for investment in the Mediterranean and North Africa, as well as the relevance of the region to European Union in the light of the current developments in the Ukraine. Let me start by explaining the situation in Malta in the sector as of March last year. When we took office in March 2013, our energy production was fully dependent on fuel oil, with obvious implications of having very high production costs and emissions. This, coupled with old, inefficient generation plants, translated in having amongst the highest electricity tariffs in Europe for families and businesses. High energy production costs also had an impact on water production costs as well here in Malta, given that we're dependent on desalination plants. However, a year on, the new administration has taken concrete measures to address this issue. As of this month, as of the 31st of March, this year, families will experience an average reduction of 25% in their electricity bills and a 5% reduction in their water bills. Reductions for businesses and industry will follow early in 2015, and this will provide an economic stimulus and also enhance competitiveness. This fits within government's view that our energy policy spans across dimensions of competitiveness, social considerations, and security of supply. Such policy has a new dimension as well as an impact on foreign relations. Tariffs reduction is a direct result of reducing energy production costs, and it is not being financed through increases in taxation or any subsidies. As soon as elected, this government has commenced the competitive process to award a power purchase agreement and a gas supply agreement. This requires investment in new generation plants, efficient generation plant, I must stress, as well as a gas supply infrastructure. Following a rigorous competition, Electrogas Malta has been selected as our partner. The consortium comprises renowned partner Siemens Project Ventures, a company considered amongst the best in European engineering, and we've got a colleague here from Siemens on the panel. It also includes practically SOCAR, which is the trading arm of SOCAR, which will bring in the gas dimension to the consortium, which is a key dimension to ensure security of supply. The consortium also includes Gasol, as well as local investors. This project has guaranteed a fixed price of electricity and gas for a period of 5 years, which will provide extensive stability to the country and also will significantly lower the energy production costs for our state-owned enterprise called Eni Malta. The project will comprise the development of a new efficient power plant, the construction of a jetty at Del Limara, where a floating liquefied natural gas storage unit will be berthed, a pipeline to shore, and a unit to transform the liquid state gas back into methane, into gas state. The gas then will be used by the new plant, the new generator, as well as by Eni Malta's plant to generate electricity. The floating storage unit for gas also gives Malta flexibility in the future. We are studying a possible pipeline connection, and if deemed feasible and supported by EU funds, the replacement of the floating infrastructure would be quite easy. The floating unit would leave the harbour. The project consortium ascertained security of supply and delivery within a required timeline. They have assembled a very strong consortium, a world-class consortium, and whenever I go to international fora, people are amazed how essentially we actually selected a company which brought in world-class enterprises within such a short timeline. They also have assembled a very strong EPC team with global contractors to deliver this ambitious program to time and budget. All this will be delivered by applying world-class safety standards. A fully fledged environmental impact statement has been developed, assessing all aspects of the project, with independent experts being commissioned. This also included risk studies by international reputed parties. Yesterday, the Occupational Health and Safety Authority in Malta also published an independent study it commissioned on the risks associated with the project. And on this basis, the regulatory authorities deemed this project as safe and have no objection to it. The report was written by Dr. George Papadakis, who is an international authority on risk analysis and author of 2 European Commission guidelines concerning the Seveso Directive safety reports and inspections. The findings were indeed reassuring. We are also proud to highlight that besides massive economic impact on the state-owned enterprise, as well as the reduction in tariffs, the project will also result in reducing the emissions by half, reducing nitrogen oxides by nearly 80%, removing sulfur from energy production equation, reducing particulate matter and dust which comes out of the chimneys by 92%, and reducing our CO2 by more than 1 million tons annually. This will ensure that we meet our 2020 targets with the EU and goes a long way to meet the 2030 targets as well. So this will involve a real step change in the Maltese power generation sector. I honestly believe that if well thought through, energy projects can be both environmentally and commercially beneficial. I now turn my attention to the region. I am confident that similar formulas to the ones we have discussed involving project finance can also offer significant opportunities to energy companies and EPCs in both Southern Europe and North Africa. The region requires investment, and project finance should be complementary to investments undertaken by traditional utilities. Enemalta is looking to redefine its role too. The company is currently in advanced discussions with China Power Investments, which is one of the big 5 power companies in China, and Shanghai Electric Power, its subsidiary, on a significant cash injection into Enemalta, which will also translate into equity. This will provide Enemalta with the needed capital injection, a doable business plan, and also, I'll be honest with you, an opportunity to venture into regional markets in the areas of renewable energy and service management of power plants in the region. We believe that this is a win-win arrangement and will provide Shanghai Electric Power with access and an understanding of the complex European regulatory market, as well as a committed partner with a view to turn Enemalta from a local player to a regional player. More will be announced in future months on the various areas of collaboration. This arrangement and alliance has also been welcomed by Standards & Poor's, who have revised Enemalta's outlook to stable, and this gives us and me more confidence to proceed with our transformation agenda of the sector. I now turn our attention to Europe. Europe needs to reduce its energy production costs significantly. The United States have made tremendous breakthroughs in this field, and Europe needs to innovate to remain competitive. The status quo is not acceptable if we want to retain industry, manufacturing, and large enterprises here in Europe. The challenge of lower cost energy production in the region may seem more daunting in the light of recent developments in the Ukraine. This prompts me to stress the importance of diversifying Europe's energy sources of supply used for energy production as well as heating and other purposes. This is a true worry for the European Union. We discussed it last week at the Energy Ministers' European Council. Since elected, the new administration in Malta has stressed this point in the European Energy Fora. There is a need for Europe's energy strategy to have a Mediterranean dimension, which defines energy flows, which includes pipelines, terminals, and other interconnections. Such connections will make Europe less dependent on the northern sources of supply. And it is a pity that most discussions in Europe always focus on the northern side of the equation, where we have extreme dependencies. We need to diversify that. The European Commission and Commissioner Oettinger also supports these points, and together we will be pushing for a concerted effort to diversify energy sources for Europe, such as gas in the Mediterranean region. This may in the future also include physical electricity links between North Africa and Europe. In this context, Malta can serve as a key connection point. However, this is a longer-term view and requires stability in the Mediterranean region. My opinion is that the immediate attention on energy flows in the Mediterranean should focus on gas and oil supplies in the region as a means to diversify sources of supply for the European continent as a whole. In concluding, I would like to thank you for attending this conference. The Prime Minister and the government are seeking to open more opportunities to leverage Malta's potential as a regional hub, facilitating business in the region. Malta, in our opinion, provides a stable and safe location with a driven and ambitious business community, which can provide a base for energy companies wanting to invest in North Africa and the continent, as well as the region. This approach is being adopted by Shanghai Electric Power, where from Malta we intend to service power plants in the region. I personally see opportunities all around us in Malta. There is a pipeline of opportunities. As a government, we welcome and celebrate business. We are committed to attract more talent to Malta, which can serve as a knowledge center for the region. Government's new individual investor program, which is supported by the European Commission, will be surely a success and will also help attract more talent to Malta. I would like to thank The Economist for organizing this event here in Malta, and I invite you all to be part of the Malta story, to forge a success story to take the country to the next level over the coming years, and I look forward to the panel discussion. Thank you.